We are live. We are live. Welcome to College Football's Peek Around the Corner with your host, Greg Pflugar. We cover everything in college football because we love everything in college football. And if you do as well, subscribe to our channel, smash the like button, share the video, ring that notification bell. If you want to support this college football national independent rebel outpost with a donation to help us keep the lights on and grow the channel, just hit the dollar sign. Just hit that dollar sign where you make your comment, and I will get to your super chat as quick as I possibly can. Welcome everybody into the studio that sits on the corner, the very corner of Keith Jackson Parkway and Kurt Gowdy Avenue. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid to become a legend with your comments and with your phone calls. I'm watching UCLA. I am watching the UCLA Bruins whoop up on the South Carolina Gamecocks. It's not competitive. Again, South Carolina Gamecocks, congratulations for another outstanding season. Elite women's basketball program. Elite national women's basketball program, elite head coach, elite program, elite fans. But I'm watching it, and it's UCLA 61, South Carolina 32. It's a 29-point lead in the national championship game in the fourth quarter. Now, I watched UCLA play this year. I watched the UCLA Bruins put handcuffs on my beloved Minnesota Golden Gophers during the regular season. And then I watched UCLA crush my Golden Gophers in the national tournament. Minnesota was they were the fourth seed. They won a couple of rounds in the tournament, and then they played the Bruins, and it was a mismatch. And then I'm watching the UCLA Bruins baseball team be the number one team in the country. I'm watching the softball program. I'm watching Oregon's baseball team. I'm watching USC's football team. I'm watching Oregon's football team. And USC's got the number one recruiting class, and we have heard from Big Ten officials. A strip and a steal and a bucket, Bruins. We have heard from Big Ten officials in private and public saying that the additions, the expansion worked for the conference. It worked. The money is coming in. Big Ten Network money. The money is just coming on in. This expansion worked. But there has been calls that maybe, just maybe, this has hurt the Pac-12 additions to the Big Ten Conference. You know, the travel concerns. John Wilner, John Costanzo, whatever, the guy who used to call me the carnival barker until he found out that I had the information and that he didn't. There's been a lot of talk about how the Pac-12, this just can't work. There's too much travel. It's going to hurt these programs. Even Big Ten people on X, even those that call themselves Big Ten information, talking about last year how maybe, just maybe, no, not maybe, no, we should have a different setup for the softball and baseball. It just basically should be a football-only conference of the Big Ten. And UCLA can play with Arizona in softball and baseball. The Big Ten expansion has not hurt UCLA. It has not hurt Oregon. It has not hurt Washington. It has not hurt USC. Now, is it a challenge? In some aspects, it's a bigger challenge. It is. We're not going to. Of course it's a challenge to be on the airplane longer airfare. Of course it is. It's a bigger challenge for UCLA, Oregon, Washington, USC. It is. It just is. I'm not going to debate that one issue. But the entirety of everything, the exposure, the money, not so much with Washington and Oregon right now, although they are making more money. They're even making more money now than they were if they were in the Pac-12. But UCLA is making more money than they ever have. Not even close. The boosters are re-energized. The Big Ten expansion worked. Greg. Your Gophers are still in the middle of Loserville City, correct? Greg, why, Greg, we thought you were a Big Ten hater. Why are you bragging on the Big Ten today? Just because UCLA is going to win a national championship in Michigan, whooped up on Arizona, and they've got a pretty good chance of winning the men's national championship tomorrow night. Greg, this is unlike you, Greg. This is unlike you. Why are you being such a Big Ten homer today? I don't think I am. But maybe I'm guilty. But this has to be said. And I don't know how to say it. I don't know the kind way to say this. It's Easter, by the way. And happy Easter to all of you. Tell your friends and your family and your loved ones that you love them today. We all have our Fridays, but we're all going to have our Sunday. And today is the Sunday. And I understand not many people are going to show up today for the live show, and that's just fine. And some of you might be saying, Greg, why are you having a live show on Easter? There's a couple of reasons. I went to my mother today. I was going to spend some time with her, and she basically said, Greg, I'm tired. I got to sleep. So I left. And then the little general just communicated to me at 2 o'clock, saying that she's going to be working late. So she works on Easter at the hospital. And all right. I got my Big 12, way too early Big 12 predictions all done. The biggest reason why I came on live, and this game's a blowout, but the biggest reason I came on live is because I've been told, I've been given the heads up that next week is going to be a very busy week. Very busy week. So I want to do the Big 12 way too early prediction segment today. We're going to open up the phone lines. You can all yell at me. But to get back to Big 10 expansion, the reason why I am bringing this up, that the Big 10 expansion worked, is because it is human nature. I don't know if there's a word for this, but it is organizational nature. I don't know what the phrase is. It's human nature. It is organizational nature. I'm making that up. That if you do something and it works, you do it again. If you do something and it works, you do it again. If you do something and it doesn't work, if you do something and it hurts, if you put your finger on the hot stove and you go, ouch, there's a less chance you're going to do that again. If you put your finger in the pot and the pot and it's hot and you go, ow, you're not going to do it again. But if you put your finger in a pot that is on the counter and it is your mother making chocolate cake and you're picking up the frosting and you put it in your finger, oh, it's so good, I'm going to do that again the next time my mother makes chocolate cake. At least that's how the fat guy from Minnesota. The first time you eat a hamburger, it's beautiful. The first time you eat a cheeseburger and it's horrific, then you go back to the hamburger and you have the hamburger over and over and over and over again. I know I sound like a jerk on this Easter Sunday, but the chatter behind the curtain, everything that I've heard in public, we keep bringing up the Mark Coyle comments. We keep bringing up the Tim Smith comments. The Big Ten's not staying at 18. They believe they're leaving value off the table. They believe as a national conference, there's more to nationalize in the conference, not just in geography, but in real value, research value, media value, international market, Middle East market value. They're going to grow. again, this is just one football, this is just one basketball game, one tournament. Oregon has been on fire in football, absolutely on fire. USC baseball hasn't skipped it. Look what they're doing. Look what UCLA baseball is doing. Look what the women's sports are doing. And again, I'm going to come back to this. I think USC football, don't sleep on them this year. More money, more national recruiting, number one recruiting class in the nation. And for the Big Ten, it has been a massive uplift of value in the conference. It has been. Listen to Ohio State Athletic Director, Ross Bjork, who says there is more value to the conference. The conference has gained more value because of those additions. Overall, every institution has gained because of that, because of those additions. And again, you can call me an SEC homer all you want. A secret Southeastern Conference lover. You can call me that all you want. But the Southeastern Conference is stronger because of Texas and Oklahoma. That's why they did it. It succeeded. So they're motivated to do more of it when they can. And I think they're getting, well, we're going to find out. We're going to find out a lot this month of April. Again, it's already April 5th. It's already April 5th. And I've been told that this is going to be a very busy week. I've gotten the heads up. So today, we're going to do our way too early Big 12 predictions. And I think I've got it nailed. Now, last night I was getting rid of my last Greg the Cooler takes. Last night was my last time that I was going to be this wrong about anything in college sports. All right? I'm telling you. This is what I said at 12:07 p.m. yesterday, April 4th. And I'm not going to be this wrong ever again. Not in football, not in 2026. Illinois, Arizona. Those were the two teams that I said was going to win in the Final Four, headed into the Final Four games. And then you've got Moen picking on me. You've got Moen, the Buckeye, picking on me, showing me as Mr. Freeze, Greg the Cooler. But again, this is the last time you PATC Einsteins, this is the last time you're ever going to be able to pick on me for my bad picks. This is it. This Moen description of the fat guy from Minnesota being Mr. Cooler, that's it. This is the last one. Because after this, it is Greg the Gold. After this is Greg the Gold. I ain't saying, but I'm saying. All right? I know you guys don't believe me now. This is going to be a busy week. So we're going to go through our big Big 12 predictions. We're going to break it down. We've got two massive super chats. Holy smokes. My goodness. Wow. OBD done. My goodness. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Purple and Gold. Say it with feelings. May the Lord bless you and your family and everyone in the PATC compound. It is a compound. It's a family, but you're all locked into the compound. Thank you, OBD done. Thank you for your incredible kindness. This is kindness. Your generosity, yes, but you're very kind in your generosity. You're very kind in your generosity. I appreciate it, sir, so very much. And may the Lord bless you and your family, OPD done. Thank you very much. And everyone in the PATC family, you as well. We did put out episode 481 about an hour ago. If you want to hear some singing, PATC. Now, it was not a PATC rendition. I wrote that song about a decade ago. So it uses no frame at all is the title of the song. So go ahead and listen to it. But, you know, it's a little shaky at times. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm getting older. There's no music. I'm doing it a cappella. Those are my excuses. But go ahead and check out episode 41. Basically a celebration of what Jesus did, our Lord did for us. If you are a believer, if you're not, that's just fine too. I don't want to step on anybody's toes at any time. So all is welcome in the PATC family. All is welcome. Thank you, OPD Dunn, for your massive generosity, your massive super chat. My goodness. And then we got MBM. My goodness, the cowboy. Now, I don't know. I think MBM, it all depends. We'll get back to MBM in a second. Happy Easter, PATC. Go, Pokes. Wow. $49 holler, $50 holler from OPD done. Thank you, MBM. Thank you very much. You are so very kind to this program. And I don't know, I think MBM is okay with me because we got the Cowboys way up there in our prediction. We're going to go through it. This is our way too early. We can change it. We can have the Oklahoma State Cowboys rise up a few notches in the month of August, or we might have to bring them down depending on what we hear in spring camp and in August camp. And I think MBM, a couple of months ago, last month, MBM was telling me to settle down. Was telling the fat guy from Minnesota to settle down. We don't want to hear you in Stillwater. We don't want to hear all this positivity from Greg the Cooler. Not in Stillwater. You may be able to do it up there in Minnesota, but we don't want to hear it down here in Stillwater. But maybe MBM is starting to catch Greg the Gold fever. I think MBM is starting to catch Greg the Gold fever. And I think he knows that I know that he knows that I know that I know that I know that he knows that the Cowboys are all ready to go in 2026. And no, I'm not a secret Cowboy homer. I predicted the Cowboys to come in last year. I buried the Cowboys before the season. A lot of Cowboy fans in the PATC family got upset with me. And then they started to agree with me as the season played out. This year is a different year for the Cowboys and for Greg the Cooler. Let's get to it here. That's right. That's right, MBM. That's right. Hold on a second here. Hold on one second. Let's do a roll call. UCLA 79, South Carolina 48. 31-point blowout. Holy smokes. Michigan. My goodness. That's going to be a UConn. Now, if any team can do it, if any program can do it, if any basketball team that completely trusts their head coach to figure it out, it is Dan Hurley and the UConn Huskies. But I'm going to take Michigan. I'm going to take Michigan. UCLA men's basketball coach really did himself no favors. MBM is in the house. Amazing Blue. I'm definitely worried about UConn after that injury. Yes. Yes. Coy's in the house. Amazing Blue. Rich Austin. But the burden will soon become reduced when the Big Ten adds Utah and Stanford. Wow. Zero Wiz is in the house. Jason Spangler, Michigan minus 7.5 is bonkers. I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree. Taytown Hawk is in the house. If you can't say something kind, maybe you shouldn't say anything. Vox Quindaro, happy Easter, PATC, Punkaroos. Vox, by the way, Vox, you were correct. You were correct. I was wrong. Jason Spangler did nothing wrong. I apologized to him and all that, and he forgave me. So, Vox, you were correct. Thank you for pointing out my wrongness. Thank you for pointing out my wrongness, if that is a word. I'm making words up today. Jared Jones is in the house. Coy is here. When is the last time the Big Ten women won the title? I have no idea. The Big Ten was many, 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 many years ago. Skaven Yes Yes is in the house. Thank you coming on in, Skaven Yes Yes, Mr. Cornhusker. John Cherrett is in the house. Greg, it seems like a lot of your analogies contain food. By the way, UCLA 79, South Carolina 51. Congratulations to the UCLA Bruins, national champions, women's national champions. Congratulations. Congratulations. Congratulations, UCLA Bruins, by far the best team in women's college basketball this year. Greg, it seems like a lot of your analogies contain food. Well, I'm not Greg. I am not Greg the swimsuit model. I'm not the swimsuit model from Minnesota. I'm the fat guy from Minnesota. So the food thing, I'm never Greg the cooler. I'm always Greg the gold on the expertise of food. Thank you, John Charette, for coming on in. Greg's palate is not to be trusted. Wow. Wow. Tumasta is in the house. Thanks for coming on in, Tumasta. Thank you for coming on in. Appreciate it. The Gold, Greg the Gold Fever. RT is here. Don't jinx us, Greg. Do not jinx us. Go Black 45. Thanks for coming on in. Go Black 45. Kayla Ramirez, thanks for coming on in. Appreciate it. Is the news coming out this week? You're talking about what we're going to talk about today? No, it has nothing to do with what I'm talking about today. And I don't know all the news. I was just given a heads up. Like a serious heads up. We're going to have a busy week next week. And the way too early Big 12 predictions is the last way too early predictions of a conference that we've done the other 3 power conferences. So we're going to get this phase done of the offseason. We're going to head on in to their way too early college football playoff predictions. And then we're going to start to do our spotlight series, taking one team on every live show during the rest of the offseason. But next week, we may have to take a pause on everything because I've heard it's going to be a busy week. Who else is here? The Big Lubbock. The Big Lubbock. I'm in favor of dumping Utah. Favor in dumping Utah. Aww. And adding UConn. The Big Lubbock has spoken. The Big Lubbock has spoken. The buckshot kid. It doesn't seem like the Big Ten schools are... Okay, you just retracted the statement. I understand what you were saying. It doesn't seem like the Big 12 schools are affected by travel like everyone said they would be 2 years ago. Numbskull News rant on the Utah was classic. I haven't watched it, but I will. Thanks for the heads up, Big Lubbock. Thank you for the heads up. I appreciate it. We've got a super chat from the one and only, the Evil Badger. The Evil Badger. Moen was spot on with his post. This Evil Badger will have to keep track of my picks versus Greg the Freezer this season. It ain't gonna be. There is no more of this. There is no more of this.
I know you told your friend you're not okay.
Done.
And tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away.
My picks yesterday for the Final Four, the last time ever, I'm going to be Greg the Cold, Greg the Cooler, Greg the Icebox.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away, cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday. Something's going wrong with all the chemicals up in my brain. All of a sudden I don't look at anything the same way. Got a buildup of my thoughts sitting in an ashtray. I'm sorry that I'm so inconvenient, okay. Just let me be me and I'll stay out of your way. I can see the way you...
All right, that's over. Those days are over. Done with. No more. Gone. Bye-bye. It's only Greg the Gold. It is only Greg the Gold, and I cannot wait till this college football season begins. It's going to be a great season. Great season. We got Christopher Hooter. Thank you, Evil Badger. Thank you for your generosity. I very much appreciate it, sir. You know I do. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. We've got another purple and gold. Purple and gold. $5 holler. Happy Easter, Greg. How much time, if any, does Donald J. Trump's executive order by Congress and NCAA? I don't think it does. I think it's completely, I think it is completely meaningless. I don't think it's going to spur Congress. I do think there are people working on it. I do trust that Maria Cantwell and Ted Cruz, I mean, you know, they're working on it. People are working on it. I don't think they're working on it any harder or quicker because Donald Trump put on an executive order. The executive orders are basically just an order for the branches with the agencies within the executive branch. It's going to be shot down. He knows it. His lawyers have told him none of what he really did mean. I think it's mean. I just don't think it means it. When we covered it live, we spent about 90 seconds on it, and then we went on to other subjects. There are big things brewing right now. I have been told next week is going to be a very busy week, and it has nothing to do with any executive order from any president. So thank you, Christopher Hooter. Thank you for the $5 holler. That is my take on that. We've got the Cornhusker. A lot of positivity coming out of Lincoln. And I don't know if I'm buying it, Skaven. Yes. I don't know if I'm buying it. Congratulations to Coach Fred. Oh, Hoiberg, the mayor And he is not the mayor of Louisville City like yours truly. He is the mayor of AP Coach of the Year, Fred Hoiberg. Congratulations. Thank you for becoming a member for 20 months. Skaven, yes, very much appreciated. You are officially knighted. Cloak and Dagger, 20 months. Thank you very kind, sir. Skaven, yes, thank you very much. Incredible job by Fred Hoiberg. Monster job by Fred Hoiberg. Not only did Nebraska win their first ever March Madness basketball game, they won two of them. An incredible job. Congratulations to Nebraska, the basketball fans. A lot of excitement. Evil Badger talking about Numbskull's rant. Numbskull's rant on Comrade Cody is epic. Holy smokes. Numbskull News, like always, is getting a lot of love in the PATC chat room. Thank you for the $2 holler, Eva Badger. Appreciate it. Thank you very much, sir. Don Scruggs. Is Georgia Tech really a credited school? I was told no by credible credit people. Wow. The Georgia Bulldog going after the rambling wreck of Georgia Tech here in the chat room. All right. Are you ready? Are you ready for some college football talk? Are you ready for some brilliance? For some brilliance in college football talk. PATC Big 12, way too early order of finish prediction. Write this down. Greg the Gold has nailed it. The Colorado Buffaloes, 16. Again, this is my way too early. The predictions of PATC does not become official until the month of August. The Colorado Buffaloes. Now, I will admit this. Wild, you did a great job on that. This is not it. This is just my opinion. I think there's a lot of evidence out there, but Wild, you did a great. This is not a shot at Wild Youth at all. Colorado Buffaloes. I will say that the new offensive coordinator, Julian Lewis, the quarterback, Marion, the coordinator, there is some... I'm very curious about Colorado's offense this year. Very curious about the offense. The defense, I really do not trust. I have them at 16. The batch, in my opinion, was Cincinnati, UCF, Iowa State, and Colorado. That was the 4-team batch. And I had Colorado. I could have had them at 15. I could have had them at 14. But I put them at 16. I'm very unsure about the Colorado Buffaloes. But I'm very intrigued by their new offensive coordinator, who's done some good work. Now, Iowa State, the Cyclones, again, they're going to have all new players. They've got... Rayner, the quarterback from Arkansas State. But you all know that I'm really intrigued. I am really intrigued by Jimmy Rogers, the new coach of the Cyclones. I am a big fan of Jimmy Rogers. I've talked about him. I talked about him when he was the defensive coordinator at South Dakota State. Everybody knew this guy knows football. This guy knows football. When we watched the South Dakota State Jackrabbits in 2022, you can see the emergence. Jimmy Rogers is the real deal Holyfield. So whatever happens this year, I don't even know if it's that important for the Cyclones. Give Jimmy Rogers a chance. Let him get his feet wet in Ames, Iowa. UCF, you all know how I feel about Scott Frost. I am not a Scott Frost fan. All right? Now, they did lose some close games last year. They went 5-7 last year, and I got to be honest. UCF did a little bit better than I thought they were going to do last year. So I was a little bit wrong last year. I was a little bit wrong. So maybe Scott Frost can show me up again. But right now I got him at 14. Now, Cincinnati Bearcats. Not a whole lot to say. That new transfer quarterback, J.C. French. Not a whole lot to say on this, except for the Bearcats are expected to have a very good offensive line. They're going to have the experience, 3 returning starters, and they were good. The Bearcats going to rely on their offensive line, the running game in 2026. The Kansas Jayhawks at number 12. The defense is going to be an issue. We don't know who the quarterback is going to be. Leipold is one hell of a head coach. I love him. But I'm not sure. I could not have him at 11, 10, or 9. I do like the West Virginia Mountaineers better than the Kansas Jayhawks. I like the fact that I think Michael Hawkins can emerge as a credible quarterback in the Big 12. They can win you a game in the Big 12. And I'm very excited about Cam Cook. I watched Cam Cook last year at Jacksonville State. I saw him turn the corner, giving some jet sweeps out of the backfield. He was number 4 for Jacksonville State. I remember watching him a few different times. And I said, I'm going to keep an eye on this guy because he's going to move up next year. And he did. And where did he go? Cam Cook went to Morgantown. Rich Rodriguez, second year. I see him almost in the top 10, or maybe he's going to get in the upper half of the Big 12 Conference. Arizona State, I like Kenny Dillingham, but I'm just not quite sure what Arizona State has. But I have to tell you, there was a few games, a few moments that I was like, woo, watching the Kentucky Wildcats, watching Cutter Boley is what they call him. I call him Boley. Cutter Boley had some moments last year in Lexington. Threw too many interceptions. He went to transfer. He's now going to be the starting quarterback. But I'm interested in the Cutter Boley in Dillingham combination. I'm interested to see what Kenny Dillingham will do with Cutter Boley. Now, I do like Kentucky Wildcats quarterback Kenny Minchie better than Boley, but we'll find out who has a better season. Number 9, I think I think 9 is the ceiling for the Baylor Bears. I don't think it's the floor. I have them at their ceiling. It could be Arizona State at number 9. It could be West Virginia at number 9. It could be Kansas at number 9. That is the second batch of teams. Baylor, Arizona State, West Virginia, Kansas. I'm not a believer in DJ Legway. I'm not a believer. But he can shut me up. There are other quarterbacks who have shut me up in the past. DJ Legway is going to have an opportunity to shut me up this year. TCU, the Horned Frogs. You know, I think the offense is going to be very interesting to watch. Now, they play North Carolina, correct? Tell me in the chat room. TCU leads off with North Carolina, correct? And that North Carolina defense was pretty good at the end of the season. But, you know, you've got that Jaden Craig, the transfer from Harvard that a lot of people are so high on. They love his arm. Can that transfer to the Big 12 football? But, you know, they've got running back Jeremy Payne, who had over 600 yards last year. And they got Jordan Dyer, the wide receiver. They've got experience at the running back position. Production. They got experienced production at the wide receiver position. But I could not put TCU up ahead of Arizona, nor could I put them ahead of Kansas State. Arizona number 7 is the floor. Baylor at number 9, I've got them at their ceiling. Arizona, I've got them at their floor. This is the worst they're going to finish. Number 7 in the Big 12. Hey, look, Brett Brennan, he started out at Arizona. The head coach came from San Jose State, went to Arizona. Well, they were, 4-8 a couple of years ago? I think 4-8. 5-7, 3-9, something like that. Last year they finished 9-4. The Arizona Wildcats are on the uptick. Noah Fafita comes back next year. Exciting quarterback. I've got the Arizona Wildcats at number 7. And again, I'll say this one more time. I think that is their floor, not their ceiling. But I have them at the floor because I think they're in the same batch. Arizona, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, and Houston. Those 4 teams, I believe, are in the same batch. And I've got Houston and Oklahoma State on top of the batch, Kansas State and Arizona at the bottom. Now we move on to Kansas State. The Wildcats. New head coach Colin Klein. I don't know what to expect from that. I really don't. Give me 1 second here. 1 second. Give me 1 second. So I don't know what the head coach is going to do. I don't have a good feel for it. I've listened to a couple of interviews. Very successful offensive mind. Avery Johnson, of course, is the key for Kansas State. Is he going to level up? Is he going to get to the next level? They got that new defensive coordinator, Mr. Jordan Peterson. I really like the schedule that Kansas State has. If you look at the Wildcats schedule, if you look at it, woo! They can make hay with that schedule. That's a very good schedule to have for the first year head coach Colin Klein. So there's question marks, but there is some. I think number 6 is the spot. Number 5, Oklahoma State. Now, a lot of you are going to be saying, Greg, you're nuts, you're crazy. You're starting to do it all over again, Greg. You fall in love with the team. You fall in love with somebody. You want to marry them real quick. You're not thinking, and bam, you're going to be disappointed. The Cowboys are not going to show up at the altar. They're going to leave the fat guy from Minnesota hanging up at the altar. We know the names. Running back Caleb Hawkins. Google it. Watch him. Drew Mestemaker. Google it. Watch him. I've got the Cowboys at number 5. I think maybe it's a little bit logical. Maybe it's a whole lot of magical thinking. But we're going to do it, Cowboys. We're going to make a run at the Big 12 title game. The Cowboys, number 5 on the list. Houston Cougars, give me Amari Thomas. Give me that beautiful wide receiver. Give me Amari Thomas. And then give me, of course, Connor Wegman. You guys know how much I love Connor Wegman. I don't think Connor Wegman would have gotten out of the Southeastern Conference if he did not get injured early in his career. But he's with the Cougars, and they could not be more happy. The Houston Cougars could not be more happy. Willie Fritz, the Cougars are a legit challenge to get to the Big 12 championship game. We talk about the Red Raiders, right? We talk about the Red Raiders not playing BYU. We talk about the Red Raiders not playing Utah on their schedule this year. But the Red Raiders play the Houston Cougars. The Red Raiders play the Houston Cougars. And when are they playing the Houston Cougars? They're probably playing them on September 18th, Friday night. Cody Campbell has put pressure on his program. We don't want to play Friday night. We should not want to play Friday night. We shouldn't be playing Friday night. We're Texas, damn it. We're Texas. We don't play Friday night. And guess who's being quiet during all this? Who's being quiet in all this? It's the Houston Cougars. It's Willie Fritz. They're not saying a word in all this drama. The Cougars will play the Red Raiders on a Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday, wherever, whenever. And by the way, we can sit here and talk about the great receiver Amari Thomas. We can talk about the great arm of Connor Wegman. Please stay healthy. Please stay healthy. But we're not talking about, and we should be talking about, the Houston Cougars defense. It was legit last year. It was really good last year. And we talked about it before the season started. It was going to be good last year. So, I ain't saying, but I'm saying. I ain't saying, but I'm saying. John Groth says Houston plays at Utah later in the year as well. The Houston Cougars, now I've got them at number 4. I've got them at number 4. But they have a legitimate shot. At getting to the Big 12 championship game. The Utah Utes, number 3. New coach. Devin Dampier will probably be the quarterback, but they got Mr. Bird Flicklin. Who knows what's going to... We don't know what they're going to do with the quarterback position at Utah this year. They got the running back, Mr. Parker, coming back. He transferred from Washington State 2 years ago. They got a new offensive line. New coach. They're going to be a pretty good football team. But can I have them at number 2 ahead of the BYU Cougars? No. And I can't have Utah ahead of the Red Raiders? No. I could have had Houston ahead of Utah. And maybe I will come this August. But right now, Utah Utes, number 3 in the land. And then number 2 is the BYU. Number 3 in the land in Big 12 country. Number 2 is BYU. They were 0-2 against the Red Raiders last year. They were 11-0 against everybody else. 11-0 against everybody else. Bear Bachmeier is Superman. The Red Raiders are the kryptonite. But as Kalani Sitake has said in public, Bear Bachmeier is way ahead of schedule. Remember, he was not an early enrollee last year. We don't have to go through the reasons why. He came in late. This year, he's head and shoulders above what he was at last year. And last year, he was Superman. He turned out to be Superman. So, just on that alone, of course, and then of course, Barry Bachmeier is going to turn it around. He's going to turn around and he's going to hand off the ball to L.J. Martin, who has had an incredible career at BYU, and he's going to have a smashing season in 2026. And BYU is going to have a good defense this year. Now, they do have a new defensive coordinator because they lost their coordinator to Michigan. Kelly Poppinja. I don't know how to say his last name. I apologize. I don't know really anything about him. And again, I apologize. I might have his name completely wrong. This is coming out of the back of my head. New defensive coordinator for BYU. BYU number 2. Solidly number 2. And of course, the Red Raiders. The Texas Tech Red Raiders number 1. Yeah, they've lost Jacob Rodriguez, the great linebacker. They lost that David Bailey, who was a monster last year. Sure they did. We know they did. But you know what? It might be their biggest gain this year. And it might not even be Brendan Sorsby. We'll talk about in a moment. Do you know what might be the Red Raiders' biggest gain this year? It might be their head coach, Joy McGuire. Think about it for a moment. I was not doubting the Red Raiders' talent. I was doubting the head coach last year. A lot of people were doubting the head coach last year. What Joey McGuire did, he did a phenomenal job last year. Great. You don't understand. You're being naive. You're being a schmuck again, Greg. Of course the Red Raiders were going to win the Big 12 with all the money that they spent. No, that's not how it works. Spending all that money gives you a better margin of error, but it doesn't guarantee anything. Look at all the teams that have fell down last year by spending a whole lot of money. Do I have to remind you of a few of them? Penn State, for one. Look, Joey McGuire brought the Red Raiders to the Big 12 championship game, and they won. They were not able to get it done against the Ducks, but that's a whole nother level going up against the Ducks. And maybe the Red Raiders can get to that level next year. But what Joey McGuire did was phenomenal last year. And now the people in the program, the boosters, Mr. Cody Campbell, the players, the recruiting ground, the coaches, they all have even more confidence in the head coach. And that can feed itself. That self-doubt, that doubt left Lubbock, Texas last year. So Joey McGuire is standing at a much stronger position in 2026. And I think that might be the biggest lift for the Red Raiders. But, you know, I do think Brendan Sorsby is about 2 levels better than the Red Baron Morton of last year. And I talked about it all last year. Morton had a great career at Lubbock. He did a lot of great things for that football program, and he's always going to be remembered fondly by Red Raider Nation. But he wasn't quite the athlete. He wasn't quite that elite talent. He was a very good college quarterback. But there was a big disadvantage when the Red Raiders got to the playoffs, even if they would have not have played the Oregon Ducks, if they would have played somebody else. But Brendan Sorsby is a different cat. His ceiling is much higher. When he's on, he's on. He's a better athlete. He's a better quarterback. So Joey McGuire and the Red Raiders have something. I think they've got something special going on again for this football season. And I think they know it. And again, if you look at the Red Raiders schedule, they do not play BYU. They do not play Utah. But they do play Houston, most likely on a Friday night. So, that is my PATC Big 12 way too early order of finish prediction. Number 16, Colorado. 15, Iowa State. 14, UCF. 13, Cincinnati. Number 12, Kansas. 11, West Virginia. 10, Arizona State. 9, the Baylor Bears. 10, TCU. 7, Arizona. Number 6, Kansas State. 5, Oklahoma State. 4, Houston. 3, Utah. Number 2, going back to the Big 12 championship game, the BYU Cougars. And number one, the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Let me know how wrong I got it once again. We got a couple of super chats here. Uh-oh. The Wolverines won big. Greg must have cheered on Arizona. I did not cheer on Arizona. I did predict Arizona. But again, Hammer Henderson, those days are over. Last night was the last night of Greg the Cooler. So don't worry about it. Wolverines, Michigan looking awfully tough. looking awfully tough. Thank you for the $2 holler, Hemmer Hennison. Thank you so much for your generosity as always. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And we've got the Evil Badger. The Evil Badger Super Chat. Evil Badger, $5 holler. I don't think the Final Four and the CFP semifinals should exclusively be on cable. What's your opinion? Oh boy, what do I think about that? I think it would be terrible if that were to happen. That is happening, by the way, every single year. Like for the college football playoffs, I want more networks to be able to bid on the games, and I think it will, especially in the Army of 24, where there's 23 games. And if CBS, if NBC, if they win, if they get into the package in some years, they have the semifinals and the championship game, that would be wonderful. I think that would be great. But if Amazon wins a championship game, if they win a package of championship games, then I would not have a problem with those events being on Amazon. I would hope for a good blend of money and of access. More big events on OTA, over the air, CBS, NBC, ABC. That would be fantastic. But again, I don't want a good blend of money and access. Not every year. Change it up. So that is my answer, Evil Badger. That is my answer. Thank you so much, Evil Badger. Thank you for the $5 holler. Badger born and mouth fan, all that matters is money. They don't care about the fans. They don't care about the fans. We've got Mowing After Dark. Mowing After Dark. $2 holler. Greg is so cold, he can go ice fishing in July. Mo and I showed everybody your little video of me playing Mr. Freeze, okay? Everybody had their laughs, ha, 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 all that stuff. But now it's over. Now it's over. That's it. I put it in the rearview mirror. You know, the windshield, the front windshield is a lot bigger than the rear view mirror. You got to look out the big window. The big window. The big fat guy from Minnesota has got to look out the big window. I'm looking forward. I'm not looking back. Last night is so old news. That's all. That was the last remnants. The last remnants of Greg the Cooler, Greg the Cold, Greg the Freezing. That's it. You're laugh it up now, Bowen. Laugh it up, PATC Einsteins. Beginning right now is nothing but Greg the Gold. Nothing but Greg the Gold. Who you got tomorrow night? The over and the under? No comment. No comment. I'm too busy to look at it. No comment. Who's playing, by the way? Who's playing? Anyways, we're going to ignore that question. We are going to ignore that question from Moen. Moen, we only give him one comment a night. One comment a night. We're ignoring that question. Throwing that one out. We are throwing that one out. Don't ask me such complicated questions. Don't ask me such complicated questions. Mike, this is a college football channel, for God's sakes. For God's sakes. Super chat. We've got the Hoosier. We've got the Oklahoma not Hoosier, Sooner. My apologies, Colt. My apologies. That's Moen's fault. He's got me all rattled. Moen the Buckeyes got me all rattled. The Sooner, the Oklahoma Sooner, Cope, again with a $10 holler. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you, my friend. How do you imagine the CFP and NCAA Final Four will work when streaming enters the fold? It looks as if the Big Ten will sweep men's and women's hardwood, as well as the gridiron, natties, cool beans. And there might be, the Big Ten's probably going to be a threat to win the baseball World Series with UCLA. The UCLA baseball team, look out. How do I imagine the college football playoffs, the NCAA Final Four will work when streaming enters the fold? I think streaming is going to get some of that content because I think they're going to pay more than the networks. I think they're going to overpay. And I think we're going to gladly accept that money. Again, I'm hoping for a blend. I'm hoping for a blend. Some years, better access. Some years, the overpayment of streaming. They should get some of the semifinal and final games. I'm looking for a blend. Now, again, Cope, who knows what the college football playoffs and March Madness is going to look like? We've got this epic month of April coming on in. Is Nebraska 18 going to win their arbitration case? We've got you Sooners, you Oklahoma Sooners, meeting with 15 other SEC presidents, going down to Destin, Florida in the month of May to talk about the possible breakaway, possibly going in your own universe if the SCORE Act continues to flounder in Congress. So who bloody knows what's going to happen with the college football playoffs and the NCAA Final Four? Who knows what happens if Oklahoma president sits there along with the Georgia president and says, we got to break away from the NCAA. Oh, we're playing their March Madness, but we got to break away. I don't know what's going to happen, Colt. I wish I had a crystal ball. We are college football's peek around the corner, but we do not have this crystal ball. It is crazy out there. It is absolutely crazy out there, Cope. And we've been told that this week is going to be a very busy week. That's why we had to do this Easter show, live show. We did our Big 12 breakdown because now we're done with the Power 4 way too early predictions of all the Power 4 conferences. We got the way too early college football playoffs we're going to do, and then buckle up, brace for impact. I think we're going to be loaded down a little bit with off the court, off the field news before we get to our Spotlight series during the off season, where we take one team per live show and we break them down. We put them under the PATC Spotlight. But I think there's going to be a little time between us now and us later when we do the Spotlight series. I think we're going to be busy, Cope. I think we're going to be very busy here at PATC. Thank you for the $10 holler. Thank you for your generosity once again, Mr. Sooner. Just let me know what Oklahoma is planning to do in Destin, Florida. Let me know, Cope. Let me know. We've got a $2 holler. $2 holler, Hammer Henderson. Greg is boycotting the championship game. I'm not boycotting nothing. I'm going to watch it. I'm not boycotting. I'm just... Look, Moen knows. Moen knows deep down in his soul. Deep down in his soul, he knows that Greg the Gold is emerging this year. and he doesn't know exactly when. I'm telling you, it's happening right now. So I don't want to give him a free pick. I am not giving him a pick. I know what he's trying to tell you all. Let me know what you think, Greg, so I can do the opposite. He wants me to let you all know what I think so he can do exactly what I'm telling him to do. Because he knows that Greg the Gold is about to emerge. And I don't want to give him a free pick. How about that, Hemmer Henderson? The Golden Gopher is being... Look, 2026 is the Golden Gopher, Greg the Gold Redemption Tour. This is my redemption tour, and it's starting out right now, and I'm not letting Mo and the Buckeye interrupt my parade, my pre-tour parade that's happening right now. How about them apples? Tay-Town Hawk. Tay-Town Hawk. $5 holler. Revenge is a dish best served cold as Greg's pick. Lance the Klingon Leipold. I got Kansas at number 12. I have them in the same batch as West Virginia, Arizona State, and Baylor. But I have more doubts on the Kansas quarterback than I do have Michael Hawkins or Scotty Fox. I have more doubts on Kansas quarterback versus Cutter Boley, Arizona State's quarterback that transferred from Kentucky, who had some moments last year. Threw too many interceptions, but he had some moments. And then DJ Lagway. I have lots of doubts on DJ Lagway, but I could not put Kansas. Number 12 is the best I could do. I am interested, though. Is where is Kansas being put in these way too early rankings? Order of finish prediction, as we call them here at PATC. Is Kansas being put higher than number 12 or lower than number 12, or is 12 the consensus? Let me know. Let me know if anybody knows. Mo and After Dark, $2 holla. Greg, so cold, his warmest regards, cause frostbite. Laugh it up, Moen. Laugh it up now. But everybody, I want everybody in the PATC community. I want everybody in the PATC community, including you, Ohio Bobcat, Stephen Vitt. Keep a track, keep an eye on my record against the spread, Greg the Gold's record against the spread in 2026, and keep an eye on Mo and After Dark on what he picks up in that Big 12 Mafia show. Keep an eye on it. Keep a close eye on those winning percentages between the Buckeye and the Gopher. 2026, Greg the Gold's Redemption Tour. It begins today. Thank you. Thank you for the $2 holler, Mo and After Dark. Thank you so very much for your generosity and for your friendship. However, you are going down in 2026. You are going down. We're going to open up the phone lines here. You can let me know how wrong I got it once again with my Big 12 predictions. 763-260-1333. 763-260-1333. Let me know what you're thinking. Absolutely, you are correct, Cornhusker. I don't believe that to be the case, Tony. I don't believe that to be the case. And if they did have any contact, it would all be classified. It would all be... Dylan Edwards, what is he going to do for the Kansas Jayhawks? Remember, he's not at Kansas State anymore. He transferred. He started at Colorado, went to Kansas State. Now he's at Kansas. Dylan Edwards. You are welcome, Cope. You are very welcome. Netflix is not going to overpay. According to Go Black 45. Sorry about that, Cope. My apologies, Cope.
From
Tawtown Hawk.
Tawtown Hawk. Can you hold on for just one moment, please?
Sure, Greg.
I got to answer this other Jayhawk here. This other Jayhawk, Fox Quindaro.
Hey, no KU on KU crime today, Greg.
Yeah, Vox. Great. First time, long time. What do you like for the over-under in the championship game? Thanks, I'll listen on air. I'm not going to tell you, Vox, about them apples. How about them? I know what y'all are trying to test me. You're all trying to give me a test that I can fail. I'm skipping the test. I'm skipping the test, Vox. The next time you see me make a prediction, it's going to be the week 0 of the college football season, and I'm going to nail it. I'm going to absolutely nail it. No test. I'm not taking the test. No way, no how. Let me show you in starting late in the month of August. Go ahead, Mr. Hawk. The floor is yours.
Well, Greg, did you just say you're going on a pick hunger strike until May or August?
Pick hunger strike?
Is that what you just said? You're not making any picks until August?
Well, not against the spread. Nope. Now I'm making I'm making my way too early college football playoff picks and all that, but I'm not making any picks against the spread until we get to the college football season.
Well, that makes sense just to have a fall practice out of the way just for any injuries and stuff like that.
No, I'll say some stuff, right? But it won't. Whatever I say though won't be put on a ledger. Won't be win or loss, So, but yeah, I will make predictions, no question about it, but not against the spread until we get into the college football season. But go ahead, sir.
Okay. Well, two things. I'll be real quick. Then I'll go. Actually, 3. Number 1, happy Easter to you and all your listeners out there.
I appreciate
hope everybody has a safe and wonderful holiday. Number 2, you're concerned about Kansas's quarterback. I'd like to point out that instead of forcibly going after a quarterback to start off out of the portal, they believe we were in good shape with what we had in-house.
Okay.
As far as the quarterback competition. Sure. Now they did pick up the dual threat kid out of Rice, but from what I understand, he's not in the lead for starting quarterback. So if anything, we have solid depth if that's the case. And number 3, I want to know what is going to be your take on Kansas after KU beats both Missouri and Arizona State in London, which I may or may not be eating some fish and chips and enjoying that game from the bleachers.
You might be going to that game.
Well, yeah, depending on what happens with airfare between now and then.
Got it. Yeah, that's yeah.
That could be really bad.
Yeah. So this is the schedule I got up on the screen here. Kansas starts out with Long Island. I think that's Long Island. September 4th. Missouri. Okay. Now,
At
Missouri
home.
beat you last year in Lawrence, correct?
No, that was in Columbia.
That was in Columbia. Yeah.
And I'd like to point out that was a very, very competitive game through the first half, even though we looked completely awful on offense.
Okay, so your first 4 games are at home, which is interesting.
Well, the London game is neutral site. It's considered a home game, but it's neutral.
I got it. Yeah. You're right. Utah. So you're looking at Utah October 10th as the measuring stick. Is that what you're looking at?
No, I don't believe in Utah at all this year. I think they're going to fall completely on their face.
So
they lost 2 offensive line first round guys and a coach, and whatever talent went to Michigan.
Kansas State, the team that you're not been able to beat, October 17th. Is that the measuring stick?
I tell you what, it should be this year, KU's year on that one. I was at the last game in Manhattan, and it was an absolute. I hate to say the word choke job, but I think we had a fumble that just squirted out of our hands 2 or 3 times, and possible interception by the defensive line at the end of the game that was dropped. The year before that, there was the absolute golden pick 6 that hit the guy right in the hands, and it's like trying to catch with a brick wall. But I think those things are just part of the past, and one thing I do know about Leipold's teams, they always play hard-nosed football, and I think the longer you do that, you keep that in your program. Eventually you're going to break through, and I think this year we break through.
So you must have a lot of wins lined up here, huh? For Kansas?
I think top of on the ceiling, 9 to 10.
Woo!
I think floor 7 and 5.
Woo!
And if not, then we got some real problems.
Wow.
But the way they've allocated resources, I think KU has really stepped up for Lance in the program. Obviously, since he's been there, but over the last 5 years, and everybody. Here's the one thing: as being a KU fan, everybody says, "Well, basketball is going to be cared about more. Basketball is going to get whatever they want, and then this and that money's going to come away from football." But I would just like to point out, basketball this year, they had plenty of money going towards that team. And in fact, they had maybe the number 1 player in the NBA draft. And sometimes that can still blow up in your face, when you get somebody who, let's just be honest, and maybe somebody in the stands up halfway through the game, and maybe that person all of a sudden needs to sit out. That's all I'm saying.
Let me ask. Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
When people are looking at the people are putting out their way too early rankings of the Big 12, their order of finish prediction, like we call it. What is the consensus on where people are putting Kansas? Is it about 12 where I put them, or are they putting them higher? Are they putting them lower? Are they putting them 13, 14, 15, 16? Or are they putting them higher, 11, 10, 9, 8?
The only other one I think I've actually taken a look at, as far as predictions, I think College Football Mafia had theirs last week, and I want to say, no, I think somebody had them in at 14, and I about had an aneurysm, but that's not here nor there. I just think it's a lot of it's got to be the quarterback situation, because it's not a name, and apparently that's the way we evaluate talent now. It's either you have a transfer or a high star prospect in like BYU, or that's it. There's no such thing as developmental program guys anymore. Mm-hmm. I don't buy that. If that's the case, then I guess the school who can actually develop in-house talent at the quarterback position is got a unique advantage. But I don't know. I know this. I've thinking about it from the skill position aspect, Greg. The guys that the amount of movement between school to school has got to be killing development at some point. Just because I think you can be a great talent, but you go 3 or 4 different positional coaches in 3 or 4 years, that has to stymie your development somewhat, or at least towards a particular system. And I know the pros do that all the time, but it's also because they're 24, 25, 26-year-old men, and they show up, they do their job regardless. Whereas I think even though they're getting paid, 18 to 22-year-olds may need some further, I don't want to call it coddling, but definite guidance. Let's say that. So, I don't know. That's just my take for today. And I know I went way over on the time, but
nope, that's fine. Beautiful call, sir.
All right. Well, happy Easter to you and yours, and Jim, be safe. Everybody drive home safe. Don't make any mistakes. Let's everybody get home and celebrate a great weekend. And quick shout out to Willie, the Wisconsin Badger. Have a great day, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Beautiful.
Thank
you so much. Beautiful. Beautiful call, T-Town Hawk. Really optimistic about the Kansas Jayhawks. You gotta love it. That's why when you call, the floor is yours. If you want to be optimistic about your team, pessimistic about your team, you go right ahead. If you want to take shots at my Golden Gophers, go right ahead.
Call from
Rick, the floor is yours. Thanks for calling. I appreciate it, sir.
Well, thank you, and happy Easter.
You too, sir.
A quick opportunity for you to change your mind.
Okay.
You think Kenny Dillingham and the Arizona State Sun Devils are going to finish in the bottom half of the Big 12?
I got them at number 10. Maybe I'll move them to 9. Maybe I move them to number 9. But yes, that's still the bottom half. Yes, absolutely.
We'll talk about that in a few months.
Okay.
I don't see him doing that. That's I don't think he would allow his. I'm a big fan of his, and I just think he would not allow his team to do that. But we'll see.
Yeah, you might be onto something on that, or you might be on something. And
right.
Yeah. I don't know. I could have them ahead of Baylor by August.
Well, I would.
But man, I don't know. I can't put them ahead of anybody else. Now their quarterback, I mean, they sort of laughed him out of Lexington, but he had a couple moments last year. I thought he was pretty. I thought he was kind of magical a little bit. He made a bunch of mistakes, but he was playing with a bat. He was playing with a 2.7 offsuit every time he went up on the football field. So it's interesting, and it's interesting that Kenny Dillingham went after him. And I can understand why, because I think the quarterback has something. Yeah, we'll find out.
Yeah, especially if he thought it was something he could fix.
Yep.
But he puts a complete team on the field. That's what I really like.
Yeah, you're right about that.
They're solid all around.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, next week, what's going on next week?
I really don't know. All I was told is I think maybe I'll get more information tonight or tomorrow morning, but I was told that we were going to be very busy next week, and I said, should I get my Big 12 way too early order for prediction out of the way? And the person says, I don't know what you're talking about, but yeah, go ahead and do it. so yeah.
Will it or could it be more Notre Dame?
I think it could be just about it. I think it's going to be multiple things, but I don't know if it's going to be about Notre Dame. I don't think. I would say no, but he didn't. I better not. I don't know, sir. I don't know. I do not know. Other than next week is going to be a busy week.
Well,
I think it's more than one thing.
What conference is he a guy from?
Not a guy from a conference.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll leave it at that.
Yes. I do think it's going to be more than one thing. So I don't think it's going to be one big story. I think it's going to be more than one big story. But that's all I could pick up on. Very short communication. So, and I asked, should I get my Big 12 stuff out of the way? And he basically said, I don't know what you're talking about. So I took that as he's not really paying attention to what I'm doing, which is fine because you know.
Okay, well that makes sense. It's something that's not embargoed. It's something you're going to learn new.
I think it is embargoed from this person telling me. He's just being kind and giving me a heads up.
All right.
Yeah.
The sports writers seem to be toying with the idea of your 2014 playoffs.
Yes, they are. They're warming up.
Because they were embargoed because most of them are under the thumb of ESPN and CBS and all those entities, and they've been allowed to soften it up the same way the Alabama athletic director softened it up.
I think, how do I say this? I think there's a lot of people heavily influenced by the SEC's position on the 2014 playoff, and I think you're starting to see them weaken on. I think you're pretty accurate. I don't want to say.
Well, they're not going against the SEC.
Yeah.
They're being allowed. They're being permitted to express an opinion.
They feel that they won't be punished by
there will be no punishment. Correct.
Yeah. Yes. Yep.
Which is a testament to how evil they are, because they're under the thumb.
Yeah.
You don't get the story unless you play with it. Play our game. So, but I can see the softening all around, be it CBS Sports or ESPN News, whoever your favorite reporter is.
Yes. And I will say this, because people have asked me, Greg, are you going to ever change your format? Are you going to do this? You're going to do that? And I've had the opportunity to interview people some people that you guys all know on this. Every one of you know, if I would put out names, you would know. And I have not done any interviews, and I will never do any interviews on this show. I'm not doing the interviews. I think other people do them great. I think they do it a lot better than I do. I think other people do panels. I think they do it a lot better than I do. But I'm not doing anything that I'm not doing any of it because I want to remain completely independent. I want to be able to agree and disagree with people. I want to be able to just tell you what I think, what I'm hearing, and I don't want to be clouded by any perceived relationships that I might or might not have with people in the industry. So I have forsaken doing any of that. That's a decision we made early on. I'm glad I made that decision. I've had opportunities to have interviews. We're not going to do, you're never going to see an interview on this channel. And interviews are great. And people love them. People love going on college football YouTube channels and watching the interviews. Again, we're not for everybody here. We got our own way of doing things, and to remain completely independent, we don't do any sponsorships. I don't do anything other than talk to you guys, and which is great, and it's fantastic, and it's also independent. Go ahead, sir.
It is great, fantastic, and independent, and that's what makes it so great. Is you don't compromise, and that's the key.
Yeah,
you don't have to compromise. And I understand why the others do, but it doesn't mean I have to like it.
Yeah.
But when I mentioned the softening of all the players, up to and including Mr. Feinbaum. So this is all telling me that they're all saying what Sankey, who is about as worthless as a person can be, doesn't have the guts to come out and say himself. He's letting everybody else do his talking for him. What do you think of that?
Boy, I don't know what to think of that. I'm gonna be. Let me put it this way. I'm gonna be very interested. It's very interested to hear what Greg Sankey says in the month of April and early part of May as they lead into the SEC spring meetings. Because I think a lot of presidents and people in the SEC are possibly in a different, they possibly have a different position than Greg Sankey himself. I think they're... Yeah, go ahead.
I think there's no doubt about it. I think you're absolutely correct. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
And the Alabama AD is an example of it.
Yes.
The problem is, and it was somebody else from Mississippi State or somewhere that also concurs. But excuse me, I had to cough. What bothers me is that gutless Sankey doesn't come out and say something. He has them do the speaking on his behalf. He can get away with no comment. He can get away with no public appearances until it's something in his favor. Then he'll grab the microphone and tell you whatever he wants you to hear. Yeah. But when do you get to pin him down? When does he take a question that isn't from an SEC reporter on the dime, an ESPN reporter getting the kickback?
Yeah. Yeah, no comment.
Yeah, the answer is never. Thanks for taking the call.
You got it, buddy. Appreciate it. Beautiful call. Legendary PATC caller, Rick. Excellent call. I see a lot of people taking shots at me. A lot of people taking shots at me in the chat room. Again, laugh it up. Laugh it up. This is going to be one of the very few times left that you're going to be able to take a shot. Call me Greg the Cooler. You're going to be calling me Greg the Gold early in the 2026 football season. So this is it. Laugh it up. Laugh it up. Get your enjoyment now. You're all going to be mad at me later in the season because I'm going to be so accurate this time. So accurate. Kenneth Maynard, the SEC, will regain the football crown in 2027. Miami will take it this coming season for the ACC. So Kenneth Maynard believes the Big Ten is going to go 0 for 2 in the next 2 years. Ryan Thomas, I'm picking against Greg every pick. Ryan Thomas is going to be a very, very poor man. I do want to appreciate those that have donated to this program to help us keep the lights on. OPD Don, MB Black, Eva Badger, Christopher Hooter, Skaven Yes Yes, Mr. Helmer Hennison, Moen After Dark, Oklahoma Sooner, Cope, Taytown, Hawk. Thank you guys. I appreciate your generosity helping us keep the lights on and grow the channel. I want to thank you all for joining us on this happy Easter Sunday. Again, if you missed it, go and watch our episode 481 that we dropped earlier today. A little bit of PATC music to celebrate what our Lord did for all of us. I just want to thank all of you for joining us. I know you're all very busy, and we're going to be busy next week. So buckle up. Brace for impact. If you haven't done it yet, subscribe to our channel. Tell your friends and family to subscribe to our channel. Ring the notification bell. Smash the like button if you've liked our content today. I appreciate all of you. I really do. Until next time, from all of us at College Football's Peak Around the Corner, to all of you, please you all take great care of each other. And as always, God, family,